we've got a little craft for you today. It's a step-by-step painting. So here we go. Step 1, with your piece of paper or card is better, or canvas if you do have that at home, or you could buy it from the stationers, is even better still. Okay, so we're going to take our masking tape. Make sure it's nice and long, the first piece. And you can do this, you don't need an easel, you can do it on your kitchen table or somewhere where there's some nice space. I did mine on my kitchen table and it worked perfectly fine. But I'm doing it on this special easel just so that you guys at home can see what's going on. Okay, so this is our first step. You might want a parent or an adult to help you with this bit. And it's really nice if you can make the masking tape nice and equal on both sides. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a nice frame or a border, so your painting will look really professional afterwards. Step 2, with your bigger paintbrush, the thicker one, you're just going to put it in your water pot. Get it in there, and then tap it and get most of the water off. We don't want it too wet, but what we're going to do is we're going to practice a technique with this, with the slightly wet brush. I want you to do like a sweeping technique, okay? It's kind of in the wrist, so like this. And we're just practicing that with the water so that you can see it. But we definitely don't want too much water, because what will happen to your paper or card is it'll go all wrinkly. Alright, so that's the technique that we want. Looking good, and I can just see the shiny bits of water. Okay, I'm going to get my palette for the next step. And I'm going to start with the dark purple in mine. What we want to do is we're creating the sky behind us. And this is our background, okay? We might dab our paintbrush in the water again. So for the background, you can see I'm just getting it on there. We don't want too much, okay? Remember the sweeping technique. For our background, we're going to go dark to light. And I'm going to go about up to there, about a quarter of the way with this colour. And we want to make sure, guys, that we go over the masking tape. And then when we reveal, peel and reveal at the end, that looks really cool and effective. And it doesn't matter if your paint starts running out as you're getting lower and lower. That's okay, because we're going to change the colour. Next, we're going to go for kind of a moody sky, like purples and reds, a bit like the sunset on a lovely day. So, get a little bit of blue, going to wet the paintbrush again, and you'll see your water in your pot starts changing colour. It looks really fun. I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, so a little bit of blue, and I'm going to start about here now. And I might not get it all the way. I might just do dabs here and there. You see? It's still the sweeping technique that we were doing earlier. And even here you can see there's not much blue on my paintbrush at all. That's okay. And your sky might look completely different to mine. And that's okay too. And then I've just added a tad more purple to kind of help it blend all the way down. So I don't know if you can see on your screen, but The card's starting to go a little bit wrinkly because we've put quite a lot of water on here. I'm going to change to our red now. We're almost done with the background. And once we are done with the background, you can take a break and have a hot chocolate or something like that and let it dry for just 10 minutes. We're doing the same with this red here, just putting bits in all the way through. Now, I feel like that's a bit too patchy for me, so what I'm going to do is clean my brush, and if you've got some paper towel, actually, we didn't put that in what you need, you can go and grab some. And then, now I have a clean brush, but it's a bit wet, so that's helping it blend. Do you see how the colours are blending together a bit better there? Alright, so there's our moody sunset sky. Let that dry for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so you will need a pencil or something like that just to mark out the idea of the size of your tree. So I'm going to take mine, and this is like halfway. Would you agree? Half and half. And also this is halfway. Okay? So here we're going to draw, it doesn't have to be dark at all, just a really faint line from about here, about a quarter of the way there, and go down to about a quarter of the way there. So I've gone from there to there, if you can see that. And that's just giving us an idea of the size of our tree, okay? Now, with your bigger brush again, this is the last time we use the big brush actually, you can grab whichever shade of green you have. Mine is a permanent green light. Don't put that in. Take two. You can grab whichever shade of green you like, and with your big brush here, we're just gonna, with that line, make a triangle. This is gonna be what's called our middle ground, okay? And we're doing this, it doesn't have to be super neat or anything like that. Perfect. Ta-da, Christmas tree! No, just kidding, we're gonna decorate it and we're gonna make it gorgeous and really realistic and natural looking. Okay, so with this triangle, we're gonna build layers and shades of green on top of that. Now you're gonna get your smaller brush. If you have lots of different types of brushes at home, you might be able to choose which style you'd like. I've gone for one that's quite flat at the top. I'll show you here, I'll turn it around a bit. Just so that we can create the branch effect. And you can make it thicker and thinner, but we'll see that as we go along. All right, I only have one shade of green, so I'm going to put quite a bit of that in my palette. And I've also got some purple from before that I can still use. And I'm going to pop a bit of yellow in there. I'm just preparing for the tree shades. And we're also going to put a bit of brown, because trees have brown too. And I'm going to go over here actually, then I know that's all my tree colours. Which one? And some white as well, okay? I like to not put too much, because then you don't waste the paints. Alright, so we're going to wet our brush again. And now we're going to do some colour mixing. So with our green here, we're going to scoop a bit, and we're going to put it in a new dish on the palette there. Now, I'm going to put some of this colour on with some yellow. And what colour will that make? You're right, it makes a lighter green. Okay, so we're going to do this technique, this little stroke technique here. We're going to go flick, 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 all over. Get some more, you can add a bit more yellow as well. Flick, flick, flick. And do you see how I'm going from the middle, from the center of the tree to the outside? I'm going to keep doing a few of those, and it's nice, if it's nice and thick there, it creates some texture and shading. Okay, and right now you might be thinking, this doesn't look so realistic, but it's all about the layers, okay, folks? Right, get some more yellow in. We might just pop those in like that, and they can be anywhere, guys. There's no particular right and wrong in this. You can put them anywhere. I don't think any two trees in nature are the same, so neither are they when they're painted. Okay. And then I might change it up to go with some brown now, but I'm going to keep the paint that's already on my brush here, because that's all just going to help with mixing too. Now, do you see how I'm just dabbing it, and I don't want to mix it too much, because I want those colours to kind of come through every so often, if you know what I mean. Now that brown's quite dark in comparison, so we'll do something about that in a minute. We'll go back to the green, I think, and fill him in. But do you see how it's creating colours and textures and depth? I'm going to give it a little wash, so I don't want too much of the brown on anymore. I'm going back to my green, and I'm putting it in another little dish here on the palette. I'm also going to chuck a little bit of purple in. Just makes like a darker, dirty green kind of thing. Okay, and I want that in some places over here. And then you see how we're flicking it out like that? See how the branches go thinner? We might want to just make it a bit thicker over here. Nice, and you can add them wherever you like. And if you like, that one's too brown, that one's too dark, and blend it all in. Right, might go back to just the other green, give it a little wash. Okay, so we're getting there with the tree here. Always going to be wibbly wobbly at the top. I'll fix that. But, that's realistic. At the bottom, we're going to do some curves like this. Just little curves, round little U's almost. And then I'm going back to my brown to put some of those guys in. And that just makes that foreground look like it's curling up a bit, okay? Some yellow in. And we've got to add some white too to kind of resemble snow. How's that looking? Okay, so I know that our tree is in nature, but I would like to add a little pot at the bottom that it's sitting in. I know we wouldn't see that if we just went out for a walk, but I'm going to choose red for my pot, and I think that just makes a really nice pop to the colour that we've already got going on. So we're going to make our pot, and notice, guys, how I've gone over the masking tape here so that it really makes it look like it's continuing picture, okay? So yeah, we're just going to paint this kind of shape, kind of a rectangle, but with a bit of a curve if you can. Okay, just going to do that kind of shape. I guess it's a little bit like a moon in some ways. And then we're going to go around the back like this. And we're going to colour that in different colours in a bit, alright? That doesn't look finished, but as soon as we've got red on our paintbrush anyway, we're going to make a start on our baubles on the Christmas tree, which also you wouldn't find in nature. Or maybe you do around furniture, I've seen a couple actually. Alright, so we're going to start with some baubles here, and it's nice that you make the circular action, alright? So I'm going to go with this guy. And it's okay if it gets a bit of the green in, because it might be reflecting the colours of the other trees in nature. See how I'm doing the little circular motion there? I'm just going to kind of dot them around. Maybe I'll do 5. I'll do one more little red guy up here. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly circular either. Gonna give that a quick wishy-wash. And then we're gonna move over to, let's get some blue in there. Now, I did replenish my blue over here because I was using it for the green and mixing it for the sky, so I put some fresh blue in this little guy, okay? Maybe we'll just do, what do you think? 1, 2, and get some more in if you want. There we are. And one up here maybe. How's it looking? 3 is good for blue, I think. But it's totally up to you guys. We don't want to overdo it with the baubles because then it will cover up all those lovely brush strokes that you did earlier with your branches and your greenery. Okay, back to yellow. You could always mix your own colours. If you love orange, what colours would you mix to make that? Red and yellow. Then we're going to do a little guy over here. I just need a bit more space. Maybe yellow down here. Now the yellow's a little trickier to see, isn't it? Because that's in our tree already. I think I'm happy with those number of balls. So we're going to, you might have a bit of brown left over from earlier. If not, pop a tiny bit in, because we're just going to do the trunk at the bottom here, okay? Now, I'm choosing to do the flat edge of my brush, and I'm just going down like this. I'm doing it quite lightly, because we don't want it to take over. That's not the most important part of this picture, right? So that's our trunk. Might be a bit wobbly because I'm coming from the side. Alright, so there's our trunk, and it's nice if you can just go downwards, because that's the grain of the wood in nature too. I'm going to wash that a tiny bit, but I'm still going to keep some brown on there with a bit of water, and then we're just going to fill in this background bit here. So that's a little bit lighter just because of the water that we've added to it. And maybe from where you can see right now, it's not that obvious, but I can see it and you'll be able to see it on your own picture. Alright, now to add some light and some snow. So the white paint here, I've got some nice fresh white paint. It's important that you've got a nice fresh bit of white here. First of all, we're going to use the white paint to resemble light shining on the baubles. So we're going to pretend that our light's coming from here, from this angle. So this is a bit of a little flick technique. So I'm going to start on this red guy up here. Just like that. Blue guy. The yellow's a bit wet, so I'm just going to leave that for a sec. I'm going to do my red and blues. Can you see how it looks like the light's shining down and it's looking a little bit more 3D? So you want it on top of your colours, just the top left corner. You might choose that your light comes from this side. That's okay too. Alright, we're also going to do a bit of light on the plant pot down here, but I don't want it to be too thick. I'm going to go down the side like this. The paint we don't want too thick is what I mean there, guys. So you see I've just kind of brushed it like that. And I'm going to wipe quite a bit of my paint off, either on your palette or your water pot there. And we don't want too much paint on this bit, but we're just going to scooch it in like that. Because that is an artistic technical term, scooch. Alright, so that's showing a bit of light on our pot over here. And if you like the look of how bright that one is, you can always add a little bit more on the side there. Okay, with some white again, we're going to put some bits in the trees, just like before. Not too much, because the greenery is the most important bit. And that's just resembling a bit of snow, okay? I don't want to put too much in, because I love the shading and the textures and layers that we've got going on with the greens already in there. But you can pop some in like that. Quite happy with that for snow. Still with your white, we're going to create some snow at the bottom of the page. And I quite like to go with the same kind of style we've got with our tree branches here. So we're going to do it almost wavy linear. So I'm just going to go across. Oh, I've got a bit of yellow in there, but that's alright. Don't eat yellow snow. Then over here like this. Just creating a bit of a wave. And notice again, I'm going off. I'm actually just painting on the masking tape, okay? Because we want it to flow up the page there. Alright. Pop the little star at the top. I've chosen yellow. And I just want to show you actually, if you're not sure the best way to draw a star, I'll show you on another piece of paper, nice and big, alright? We're going to, maybe I'll choose a dark colour so you can see it at home. So this is the easiest way to do a star. You're going to draw a triangle. Now, watch out because the paint's thinning a bit. And you're going to draw another triangle, but upside down. So you'll start here. And you can go right to the bottom. So that's the easiest way to do a star. If you're pretty good at doing it the other ways, you can do that as well. Right, got to wash my brush. So that I've got some nice yellow on there, okay? So yellow, or if you've got gold paint, you can always add things like gold and silver. Now mine's right at the top of my page. It's okay if it doesn't really look like a star either. You get the idea, right? You think it's a nice sparkly lovely thing on there. I might pop a bit of white in there too. But if you're going to do that, just do it really gingerly. Okay. Alright, this is a cool bit next. You need your toothbrush, an old toothbrush. Okay? And you're going to get your white paint. I'm going to wet the toothbrush first, get some water on it. And I'm going to pop it in the white paint. I might need a bit more white on mine actually. Perfect. Yeah, get some white on there. Okay, dab it in. Wet it a tiny bit more. Okie dokie, so you'll see the white paint on there. And we're gonna, like, with your finger, I like to use my index finger here. You're gonna flick it on, okay? And it's going to look like smaller snowflakes. So you don't want it too close at first, just experiment a bit further away, because if you do it really close and then there's a big snowstorm in this little corner, it might not look so realistic. So I'm going further away. And you're moving it around. It's pretty fun. Around, and it's alright all over the tree. I might get some more just because it's so much fun. Dab some more paint on. Okay. If you've got glitter at home, of course, feel free to add it. I'm going to put some of my glitter on because it's Christmas time. So with your finger, or it depends what kind of glitter you've got, but mine is like a powdery glitter, so it's dry. So I need a little bit of water on. And because the paint's still quite wet, that's going to act like a bit of glue, right? I'm just going to put my glitter, well, to start, on the baubles. There we go. You might not be able to see this from where you're watching, but on the close-up picture of the finished product, you'll be able to see, oh, and on the star, of course. Yeah, get loads on the star. Yeah, looking good. Well, let's have a sparkly box. See that? Never have too much glitter, I think. Okay. All right. The final stage. You guys, it's better if you let it dry for a bit. And it is good to have a parent help with this bit because it would be, it's pretty sad when because it could rip. Anyway, I'll show you. So we're going to start the peel and reveal. Okay, so the best tip I can tell you is to take your time and tear away from the painting. See how I'm tearing upwards like that rather than like this, because then it might have a tendency to peel some of the paper with it. Alright, we're going across. There's that one. There we have it. And if you can sign your name at the bottom, I think that always looks great.